What if you had a personal DM assistant for free that could shore up your weaknesses, world build for you, and make NPCs in a flash, and much, 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 much more? Well, AI chatbots can do that for you at a huge cost. Welcome creators, I am Holistic Dungeon Master and I help DMs master their craft with helpful videos like this one, where we discuss why using AI to help prep your games can massively damage your games in the long term, and how we can leverage it to learn how to get better at the craft. If you're enjoying my content so far, you know what to do. Please like the video, crit the subscribe button and notification bell for those who wish to support the channel further. We now have a Patreon, you'll find it in the description below. Now, let's get rolling. I have used AI to prep sessions. There, it's been said, it's out in the open, right? At the time I thought it was something that would shore up my weaknesses as a DM, but it did much more damage than it did help me improve. Much more. I struggle with writing about architecture and the layout of locations, right? It's just something I can't quite improvise well, and when I'm writing it just doesn't come out too well, right? My players often ask me to repeat the descriptions of locations and locales, and I've had to crudely draw it out, very crudely, in some cases, breaking immersion. It just, oh God, oh wait, I've got to draw this and look at this crap drawing. It breaks immersion terribly. I can narrate and build atmosphere wonderfully, but writing the descriptions of the physical space beforehand is quite difficult for me, and I can never come up with it on the spot. Not well. So when ChatGPT exploded onto the scene, I was exhilarated. This is going to solve my issue, I exclaimed. So I hopped into this new and strange technology, as I'm sure you all did, with a wide-eyed wonder about what this thing can actually do. What the hell is it even? I didn't really know what it was. Describe a blacksmith's workshop in detail, I prompted, and it spat it out in a few seconds in very detailed and very well described blacksmith's workshop, adding a few little flourishes and touches that I never would have thought to have added. I couldn't believe it. Tell me about the blacksmith, I asked this technological marvel, and it did tell me. Told me their description, what their life is like, who their family is, and what they make in their blacksmith's workshop. It was nuts. Tell me about the town. I began to get really excited now. Tell me about the town. I begged this high concept science fiction cliche come to life, and it did. It was literally building a whole world out of nowhere at my prompting, doing in seconds what it would take me a whole evening of prep to accomplish. And so I began to use it. At first, I told myself I'd only use it to prep the things I was really bad at, so that I could learn how to build these scenes myself, right? I could learn by kind of absorbing what it was spitting out at me. Also, so I could just be better prepared for my sessions. And it worked. Honestly, it did. For a while, it worked great. I felt more confident, I had great scenes to narrate well to my players, and prep overall was just less stressful. What could possibly be the downside of this artificial assistant? Well, I found out pretty quick that it would grow into this brain-sucking parasite, slurping all of my DM creativity and ingenuity out of my head. Let's talk about the cost of using AI to prep your sessions. While things started out great, I just slowly, incrementally, as these things always happen, I just started to use AI to prep more stuff for me. It's inevitable. Such a powerful tool just begs to be used more and more. I got it to prep NPCs, puzzles, encounters, and story beats, even. I got so bad that this was quite bad. I was just entering what happened the last time and asked it to give me ideas about what to do next. I wasn't copying word for word or scenario by scenario. I was pulling a lot of inspiration out of it, but it was doing most of the work. And can you see what was happening? It's like the calculator. When people got calculators, they kind of forgot how to do simple math, multiplication, division. All that stuff was kind of drilled into people's heads through repetition, and they lost the skill. I found it harder and harder to prep my own stuff. The AI can spit out quite a ton of stuff, right? And it's quite good, but it's missing something. It's missing that human touch that sprinkles magic into every D&D session. It's what makes the game so special. And so my game started to suffer, and things got very stale and I found very cliched. I lost my enthusiasm and interest because it wasn't my stuff. It didn't come from my own brain. Not really. I prompted it, sure, but it wasn't really mine. And my players kind of began to feel that and lose it too. Not only does it not shore up your weaknesses, it actually magnifies them as you become dependent on it. And it slowly, even worse than that, it slowly diminishes the stuff you're actually already amazing at prepping, right? Because you just get it to do it for you. Prepping and improv skills are like a muscle, right? If you don't use them, they atrophy. Needless to say, I stopped using it pretty soon after I came to these realizations, these revelations, epiphanies. I started to prep everything by myself again, and slowly but surely, the skills kind of returned to me. Luckily, it seems to be like riding a bike if you don't leave it too long. And our players and I started to love our sessions again. Great. However, there is an upside to all of this, some unforeseen benefit that came from this experience that makes me glad to have went through it. I don't regret it, and I'll tell you why. Let me explain. Using this AI tool, ChatGPT, it taught me some very important things. It drove home the point that I needed to focus on improving the very things I was asking it to prep in the first place. Those weaknesses that I needed to shore up, the architecture, describing physical spaces. I had to work on that myself. Otherwise, I'd never improve in the area. It's like drinking alcohol to get rid of social anxiety, right? Sure, you become artificially more social when drunk, but you never learn how to build those skills sober. And so you become dependent on this thing to socialize, just like I became dependent on that chatbot to prep these things for me. So overall, I learned something, right? You know, it brought me to a bad place, but I'm out the other end and I learned something from it that actually kind of overall highlighted a thing I needed to improve to get better as a DM. So I would say, maybe give it a try for a session or 3, but then stop afterwards. Make sure you stop, right? Don't get too used to it. Stop and ask yourself, what did I use it for? What did I need to use it for? What did I ask it to prep for me because I didn't feel like I could do that good of a job myself? These are the areas you need to improve upon. And by shoring up those weaknesses, you will just become a vastly better DM. Of your own making, using your own glorious and infinitely creative mind. An exception perhaps is to run maybe a specifically AI-driven game where everybody's on board, you know, everyone's in on the thing that, you know, the players, the DMs, just to see what crazy things this AI is going to come up with and really commit to following through with that. It could be interesting, or it could be horrendously dull. We won't know till one of you, won't be me, finds out. I hope you've come to realize the dangers of AI-enhanced DMing and the importance of your own ingenuity when it comes to enjoying a wonderful hobby with wonderful people. What you need to succeed is within you, not some potentially sentient software. In fact, you can start right now by stealing and changing these system-neutral, story-focused, archetypal NPCs that I've written with no stats or mechanics, so you can get that creativity flowing and drop it into any game you're playing. I'm giving it away for free, and you can have it if you head down to the description below and find the link. Also down in the description, you will find a link to my community Discord server. Hop in, there is a bunch of other DMs in there who just love discussing the craft. We also run kind of improv events and help each other just get better and master this wonderful craft and hobby. There's also a bunch of players in there, so if you want to meet other players, form groups, it's all happening. Everyone in there loves D&D, so jump right on in if you do too. You've heard a lot from me, now I want to hear from you. In fact, we all do. Please get typing down in the comments before. Have you used AI to enhance your sessions? What happened? Let us all know. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it somewhere in between, right? Let us all know so we can foster this community of DMs who help each other hone their craft. If you've watched this video all the way up until now, then you are the DM that I make these videos, this content for. Someone who is truly, truly dedicated to becoming the best DM that they can be. So thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, share it with another DM who you think may be diving a little bit too deep down that AI D&D hole. Crit the subscribe button and notification bell. And remember, this world needs good, unenhanced by AI DMs.